Are you struggling for consistency in your sim racing? Does your iRating look like a roller coaster? If so, we have good news for you. The way to get more consistent is to first understand what you're doing differently than the professionals. And VRS is the answer. With our competitive subscription, you will have the telemetry, setups, tutorials, and everything else you need to fully analyze your driving. Our data packs and the ability to compare your driving with the best in the world will show you exactly where to adjust your inputs, change your driving line, and shave seconds off of your lap times. And our powerful and precise Direct Force Pro wheelbase and precision pedals are being used by some of the world's best drivers. All these champions agree that VRS hardware is not just the best on the market, it's also priced well below the competition. So if you're looking to upgrade to direct drive and the best pedals in sim racing, VRS is your answer. If you want to get better, get faster, and make it happen sooner rather than later, you owe it to yourself to find out why so many people are switching to VRS. You'll be so glad that you did. Visit www.virtualracingschool.com and learn why the best use VRS.
Howdy, 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 and welcome to the iRacing Formula 3.5 Championship here at Circuit Gilles Villeneuve here in beautiful Racing TV.
The Canadians are known for being a meek, mild, kind-hearted nation of people. However, what we've seen so far this season from Formula Renault 3.5 is the polar opposite of that. There's been so much great action out on track, real dogfights at times, and as we head to the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve here in Canada, I think this is going to be no different whatsoever to what we've seen the previous season. And of course, we're just heading up from Road America last time out. Wow. What a race that was. And if it's half as good this week as it was last week, we're in for an absolute barnstormer here yet again.
Yeah, we certainly are. Last week at Road America, that had long straights, tight corners. Well, we go to Montreal here today, where it's long straights, tight corners, even tighter track limits. And, you know, lap one around here, it's got a few people getting a little bit squirrely, as everybody is going to be having a lot of fun here, and might be having a moment in this opening lap, because that opening sector here at Montreal is one of my favorite opening sectors here. It gives you a chance if you're on the outside, it gives you a chance if you're on the inside. So it's going to be a race into turn 1, a race coming out of turn 2, heading into 3 and 4. And it's definitely going to be racing around that long back straight up to that final chicane where the Wall of Champions awaits. Hopefully not one of these drivers, but if it does, oh, it's so easy to hit.
You say about the Wall of Champions, Austin, but we were talking about it before the show. For me, and I know you've got a similar train of thought as well, the Wall of Champions, of course, that infamous death spot potentially, you know, for hitting the wall. But the more intriguing part is where we're heading through to very, very shortly, just watching John Owens right now. It's turns 3 and 4. Because as you see him just about to enter into it here, it's incredibly tight, and then it tightens up even more. So it's like a street circuit on exit. And you can see the little rubbings of tyre marks on the wall on the outside there. If somebody gets it wrong on the opening lap, or if we have a too wide entering into there, we could see a big big pileup potentially, especially if it's at the front of the field. Hopefully we won't, but I wouldn't rule it out. And for me, that's almost like a bit more of a danger hotspot than the Wall of Champions itself.
It certainly is, especially on that opening lap. And if some drivers come out side by side of turn 2 on lap 1, if our lead fight is side by side coming out there, I will not be surprised if one of those drivers enables DRS to try to get an edge heading into that corner, to just lunge ahead and just catch the other one with their pants down heading into there.
I mean, it's definitely the interesting one as well. Look who's not at the top of the timing sheets, who we would normally expect to see. Eddie Samborski, only good enough for second. Are we for potentially a big upset? I mean, a blinding lap from the Australian Joshua Stewart there to take it. Well, it was only 0.04 of a second quicker. The usual slim margins as always here in Formula Renault 3.5. But that's a really interesting twist to the tail here that we're experiencing in qualifying, and not long left. Mark Ponik, the Canadian, he's not going to get a lap in, so he's going to start right down near the back of the grid, Austin, at his home race, or a lone Canadian in the field. He's going to have his work cut out if he wants to replicate Gilles Villeneuve, who, of course, won the opening Grand Prix here all the way back in 1978.
Yeah, it was fantastic performance. And also, you know, they named the track after him, as qualifying is ended. 19 cars qualified, 23 will be starting this race, a few of them getting off tracks, and we definitely know where those came from. Turns 3 and 4, so easy to get a 1x on the inside of the track and on the outside if you mess it up. Josh Stewart takes his first pole of the iRacing Formula 3.5 Championship broadcast here on Apex Racing TV. And his teammate is alongside of him, Eddie Samborski. They're followed by Ludwig Rankon, Rob Bohr, Fabio De Carmo, Marcos Alecron, Oliver Kawaka, Jason Sieg, John Owens, Eric Wierzemski, and Theodore Burns. Followed by Gio Tanto in 12th place, Dennis Cornu, Ben Holko, Jamie Byrne, Dylan Freckleton, Miguel Crespo, James Byrne, Mehmet Taski, Anton Titus, Mark Ponik, Luis Magwan, and Daniel Gauss at the end of our 23-car grid here in Montreal. And I am excited for this race to get underway, because I know those downforce racing guys are going to be giving us a heck of a show up front. But we know the starts that Ludwig Rankon, Rob Bohr, Fabio De Carmo can get. They could very make this a 3-car fight heading into turn 1.
They can do. I mean, realistically, it could go any which way between any of our top drivers. We got a couple of drivers leaving it right to the last dying seconds to grid up here. Just waiting on Lewis Morgan and Mark Ponik just to take to the grid and then be away Canadian. Racing.
Only one Canadian in the field, which is surprising.
I'm not angry. I'm just disappointed.
I'm not disappointed.
My parents would say to me.
I'm happy because we usually get almost every driver from every continent on this field. As here we go. 5 red lights, and it's green here at Montreal for the iRacing Formula 3.5 Championship. It's a great start by Josh Stewart. Samborski on the outside. Stewart leads Samborski in there. Clears Samborski right there. The downforce racing car, the number 5, making it 3 wide. As Theodore Burns gets a great start off the lines. The 2 downforce race cars lead them into turns 3 and 4. Everybody fouling in right there. No trouble whatsoever throughout the field. They all make it through there. As we see everybody getting it into the second part of the track. Looking down to the inside, that's one of the Burns, the number 14, Jamie Byrne. Side by side by Dylan Freckleton with that switch track. Freckleton getting past Jamie right there, as James is right behind his father.
Wow, what a tight battle it is in the midfield here. So a couple of drivers making it real places. The Iberian, Lewis Morgan, already up 3 places, Austin, up into 19th. Cracking start. Taski's had a shocker, though. He's down 4 right to the back of the pack on 23rd. But as we head out down the back straight, this is where...
I'm sorry. there's a risk of getting side pod damage or floor damage in these cars, which is very hard to spot. Usually you can see it by the floor, but there's also another way to see it if you get a scuffed side pod. And I spotted a few scuffed side pods of drivers going over the curbs at the start. These curbs right here, it's easy to get side pod damage. So some of these drivers already having side pod damage, and the driver that I think has it is Jamie Byrne already. That's who I spotted it on. The right side side pod has a little bit of damage right there. So some drivers already struggling to fight with the car throughout this entire race.
Cracking spot as always there, Austin. Yeah, I mean, what's going to be interesting as well is to see how the drivers, of course, manage their DRS availability. Of course, the drivers is always, I think, eight available.
Had a bit. That was Tanto. Yeah, Tanto coming out of that corner, corners 6 and 7. Had a little bit of a light up at the rears right there. Saw the smoke right there, and he's fallen all the way down to 17th.
It's not a good start. Yeah, he's dropped 5 places there, Austin, from his starting position. Definitely. Oh, it's running in deep.
Oh, and Freckleton runs into the side of Jamie Byrne. Jamie Byrne and Freckleton are not going to be happy. No, that's James Byrne. Side by side until Freckleton. Oh, the elbows are coming out. That's Gio getting into the side of Freckleton. Here comes Gio down to the run in. On Freckleton right beside. Side by side they go to the final quarter. Who's going to let off their... They're not going to let off each other. Gio backs up. Freckleton gets into the back of Gio right there. And Freckleton falls down right behind Jamie Byrne. And Freckleton's gone up and down and around. He's like a pinball in this field right now. Just trying to get through this grid. But, oh my gosh, so hard for Dylan Freckleton right now. And, yeah, as we see Jamie Byrne ahead, you can see that side pod is a little bit scuffed. So he is already dealing with damage that will be hurting him with the handling and on the straightaway. And, oh, Gio Tanto's had an issue. Another one.
He's had a come off track somewhere, Austin.
That would be turn 1 and 2.
I think so, it is, yeah.
That
right
fight he was in was extremely competitive. Speaking of extremely competitive fight, here's a fight for top 5. And Bohr defending from Quokka. Quokka wanted to look down to the inside. Well, now Rob Bohr's looking down to the inside at the hairpin. Bohr side by side with Alicron. Alicron, though, using that outside line, carrying the momentum. DRS activated for the first 2 cars right now, as it's a drag race between these two. Quokka's just staying back there. Here goes Bohr. Bohr looking down to the inside. Side by side they go, heading into the final chicane. Bohr backs off, allows Alicron to have that corner. And now here comes Quokka off the exit right there. Bohr was caught with his pants down, and here comes Quokka side by side, looking for 6th place. Quokka's looking down low. Bohr around to the outside. Bohr goes a little bit deep, caught a little bit in the grass, and he gets drifted out ahead of Quokka. Quokka now under pressure by Jason Sieg. Sieg, one of the Downforce Racing drivers. It's just everybody's under pressure by everybody in front and everybody behind. And that's why we love Montreal. And yeah, somebody in turns 3 and 4, I saw a big skid mark right there. Somebody had a big lockup. I think that's where Tonto had his issue.
This is the issue, Austin, where if you have to back out
this... 3 and 4. Turns 3 and 4. Entry, hits that inside curve, off the exit. Oof!
Oh, wow!
Did he hit the wall? I don't think so. Well, he hit the wall right there.
Yeah, he did, yeah. Just as he was getting the car back straight again after keeping out the wall on the initial part. This is the trouble, Austin, when this field is so competitive and so tight that if you just back out of an overtaking because you can't quite make it, try and play a bit safe, you then compromises your exit off the corner, your speed off it, and it leaves you susceptible to an attack from the car behind. It's just seeing Samborski really closing in on the back of Stewart. Eddie 310 separating these two.
These are teammates with each other, so I know the Downforce Racing guys, they'll go race with each other, but if they have a group behind them of Rancon and Fabio DeCarmo, they're not going to go pushing each other to go for the fight. They're just going to draft train off each other and just try to pull away, make sure they pull out a gap before they take the gloves off and go sparring with each other. But Marcus Alicron and Fabio DeCarmo in a fight. Rob Bohr's had an issue. He's falling down the field. And, there's our first car parking turns 3 and 4. Rob Bohr stuck in the middle of the track. He's got to reverse. You got to throw that thing into reverse, Rob. And,
well, I think he's waiting for the whole field to come around there to light up the tires, flick it around. There you go. Oh, no! Mark Ponick, wow. I think he might require a new set of underwear after that one, coming flying through turns 3 and 4.
Maybe a new pacemaker as DeCarmo and Rancon side by side heading into the airport, but Fabio went wide. Here comes Fabio off the exit in the trap, looking onto the outside. Rancon defending onto the inside. Fabio attacking on the outside. Fabio's got the car linked lead already, and he's clear of him. Fabio DeCarmo, P3.
Great move there. Really set it up out of the exit of turn 10 there, Austin.
Here's that issue heading into 3 and 4. Is this going to be too much inside curb? Oh, that's a lot of inside curb. And carbon copy of Gio's. He got that thing slowed down, and everybody's just like, I don't know what to do. And
on the grass.
Rob, he kept it still. That's exactly what you want to do right there. If there's a lot of cars coming your way, just stay still right there and let everyone race around you, and then you make your way to the safer spot, because they know something's up. But if you start moving, we saw that one car dive into the grass. That would have caused an even bigger issue.
It does. It says, as the pack coming through, it's what you want is predictability. Someone just to remain still, because that you know exactly, where you can go, where you can't go, and it's far more easier to understand. Just seeing Tusky right now under a bit of pressure from, I'd say, cars behind him, Titus and Gallus as well. These three sort of working together to come through the pack. Of course, our BS trailers right at the bottom have all had issues. Sinto, Ponick and Bohr, who've just seen that recent issue that he's had, and this is where you need to set up your move here, Austin. Through turn 10, just get the best possible exit and remain as close as possible to the car in front of you to guarantee being ahead come the end of the Wall of Champions, and I think that's exactly what we've just seen. John Owens, still Theodore Burns there, but this is what I was talking about earlier, Austin, where Burns has got the compromised exit off the corner. He's now susceptible to Wysmowski, who's right behind him.
Somebody up ahead in the front of the field has had a massive walk-up through turn 2. I'm not sure who it was. I just caught it just slightly. But yeah, Owens definitely got a great line out there. Burns, though, almost got caught and passed by Eric. But great defending by both of them as we ride on board of Edward Samborski behind his Downforce Racing teammate, Josh Stewart. First pole position for him, looking for that first win. Wow, what a place to claim it as well. Here at Montreal, but Samborski. Oh, he's running deep, Austin! He's running deep! He's preferring that better exit. He's going for that better exit. The wider you go, the better exit you're going to have. And he knows Eddie is right behind him. Eddie with the better run. He's got DRS on. Eddie trying to pass Josh Stewart. Stewart not using DRS. He's alongside of him, but Josh Stewart and Eddie Samborski swap with each other right there. But I'll tell you what, Stewart's fighting back and here, Austin. Stewart! He's coming back into turn 1, but he's going to have to just back out, maybe. Yes, he does. Well, you can bet your bottom dollar this is not done and dusted. We're only on lap 8 out of 26 here, Austin, today, and, well, I get a feeling that this is going to go right the way down to the final lap, unless Samborski can get a wriggle on right now and pull out a big enough gap. Samborski didn't get pole right here. He didn't get off the line the best, but that allowed him to really set himself in there. We saw this at Road America with JJ Pinsker had that issue. And then he was stuck behind another driver. He got past him, and then he just started running away with it. I think we're going to start seeing Eddie Samborski do what he does best in clean air, run away with it. Unless Josh Stewart gets an amazing run through here, enables DRS, and really sends one. Oh, Eric Wysmowski has had an issue in 7 and 8. Yes, now he's going to lose another place. This is Jamie Byrne going to slip past. Sorry, James Byrne. The younger of the Byrnes. It is. It is. The son of Jamie, who's right behind him. Titus has had an issue as well.
Oh, big contact!
Oh! Well, there's the issue for Anton and Titus. Got airborne right there after contact with Tonto.
Front wing damage for him as well, Austin, and I imagine he's probably going to take a trip into the pits, but he might not discover he's got damage until he reaches the final chicane, of which he's going to have to do a whole lap.
He knows he has damage now.
He's surely going to do.
Luckily, the spotter now will let you know if you have any wing damage.
That's always.
But
mind you, it depends. That depends if you're running the iRacing spot or if you're running something like Crew Chief. It's just, I think that's Wysowski running in a bit too deep, and now he's under a lot of pressure. James DeMann.
Anton and Titus has actually stayed out.
Yeah, if they're running Crew Chief rather than the in-game spot, Austin, they wouldn't know, because I'm pretty sure Crew Chief doesn't tell you. Could be wrong. Could be wrong. Shout out to the guys who make Crew Chief. It's run by so many of the drivers. Of course.
You just wouldn't know because you're such a clean driver. You've never experienced it.
Well, you know. You wouldn't have guessed that from the 17X I got at Monza earlier in the European Sprint Series. But there we go. It's by the by. There's
I was
John
complimenting
Owens.
you, and then you threw yourself under the bus.
Oh, it was coming anyway. Just like this overtake that Theodore Burns has just made on John Owens there. It's a regulation move, as we're seeing. Well,
Crespo, he wanted to sneak one past Byrne right there. But he was too far back behind Jamie. But Jamie's going to have to keep his eyes in his mirrors, because Miguel Crespo could definitely throw that thing around. And in that downforce racing car, and I got to say, the best looking downforce racing car. I'm sorry, Eddie.
Now,
Theodore, this one's my
favorite. Shout out to Oliver Quoker. I was chatting to him earlier in the week, Austin.
He designed this.
He does all of the paints for all of the downforce racing drivers. So big shout out to him and the effort he puts into that. And you know,
he's got the best nose. I'll give Quokka, he's got the best nose.
Yes.
Never have I seen somebody's sim equipment put onto the front nose of the car to just double the immersion.
Yeah, he is fully immersed. I mean, he's got a lovely setup. You know, he streams on Twitch as well. I'm sure he's probably streaming now. And
wait, look, here comes Radcon. Get in. Radcon getting a little bit scared right there, taking the escape route, and that's going to be a slowdown for him. Marcos Alicron, Daredevil, dive down to the inside, and I think he caught the Frenchman out right there.
Well, I'll tell you what, he's going to, I think Quoker may well even get moved on. Yes, he has, but it's all about what's happened.
James Byrne and Wysowski, and crossover move. Blocking off Wysowski off the exit. James Byrne really sent it into that corner. And the driver for Jaeger Racing making it work right there.
Well, I'll tell you what, Wysowski had proved off camera somewhere, had made it past.
He made it past through the wall of champions chicane.
Yeah.
And on the setup of that corner, he just went for the outside line, and then James just really sent it onto the inside, and then he made it work off the exit. And here's that replay of Oliver Quokka making that move on the slow Ludwig Radcon. There's Radcon serving that slowdown penalty. Quokka around the outside, and side by side to 3 and 4, and Marcos and Quokka taking it very cautiously, and there goes Quokka going slow. Alicron right onto the gearbox right there, and Quokka and Alicron, they're both of them having a bit of a move, and guess what? It's happened again. Quokka in 5th, Radcon in 6th place. Alicron is way ahead of that.
Well, I tell you what, these lot are out again. Ring the bell, ding ding, round 2. Here we go between the Burns and Wysowski and Crespo. Well, he's winning a piece of the action, to be fair. Looks like he's lining up Jamie Byrne.
Crespo and Byrne. Crespo, he's backed out of it. It's a very enticing move to go down to the inside of turn 1. It's just, you got to know, if I'm going down the inside of turn 1, I'm going to be on the outside of turn 2. And it's It's just a big give and take situation right here. But that's what makes the Canadian first sector so unique. It's like Imola. It provides an opportunity for both drivers on the outside and the inside, but the nature of turn 1 and turn 2 being that 180-degree right-hander, if you set up onto the outside of turn 1, you can have a better run. As here's Oliver Kwaka under pressure by Rancon. Rancon looking down to the inside in the draft. Now here comes Rancon once more. Kwaka on the outside, Rancon on the inside. Side by side they go, heading into that final chicane. Rancon, he's got the lead and gets ahead of Oliver Kwaka and up into 5th. But here comes Kwaka. Kwaka in the draft. Kwaka setting himself up for that outside line. Is Rancon going to defend down to the inside and give Kwaka the line? And they're actually not along side by side. I thought they were going to be side by side right there, but Rancon getting a better run than Kwaka. Kwaka backed out of it. And now this pack of 3, Kwaka Sieg, Rancon, Kwaka, and Jason Sieg are in this fight for 5th place.
It's these 3 are, well, they're almost tripping over one of them right now, Austin, and that is allowing Marcus Alacon to just pull away from the Iberian company in 4th place, up 2 places so far today here in Canada. It's really playing into his hands, this battle that's emerging right behind him, and actually, these 3 are absolutely loving it right now. Such close racing. Jason Sieg just sat at the back of this group, just biding his time as to what's going to happen between Kwaka and Rancon, because they're trickling up over them. They're exchanging praises pretty much every single lap. I think we're going to see another one potentially here. And a bit of weaving along the straight to break the slipstream. Theodore Burns in the background there, running a bit of an odd line, but right down the inside, under direct threat. But I think this is going to be interesting to see what happens down into turn 1 as we look back from Rancon. That is Oliver Kwaka right behind us, but just as merging as they are right now.
Yeah, and oh, we've got an issue in the background. It's one of the Burns, and Eric's around again. Contact in the chicane, the final chicane, the final turn between Byrne and Eric Weiss-Minsky. Here is what happened right there. Jamie Byrne closing in on James Byrne and Eric. Jamie Byrne's got the entire view of the situation, and Eric, oh, he's just locked up. Oh, Eric just got onto the brakes too much right there, and right into Jamie Byrne. As Jamie, we can see this again. See how much he closed up. He's actually locked up heading into there. And well, our first big crash of the race. Eric Weiss-Minsky and Jamie Byrne.
We were talking about it earlier, Austin, that compromised exit that you get off the corner from mountain attack, then having to back out of it. And the closing speed of Byrne was just so great, and nowhere to go, and they had contact, and wow, these 2 are at it once again. These 2 don't make contact down the same corner, and he's still biding his time. I mean, we're 15 laps out of 26, 11 to go. He needs to start thinking about mounting a challenge to these 2 right now, because the clock is starting to run down a bit now, and he's going to run out of time and available options, and someone needs to take control here of these 3. Right now it's Rancon, but it could go any which way between any of them. And let's not forget, I think the drivers out of this group, I haven't seen too many of them use their 8 available DRSs that each of the drivers have available to them every single race, which, I mean, if they've all saved them up towards the end, Austin, we could actually see that it just they just counter. Sieg locks up. He's dropped off the back of this group, and that's backed him right up into Theodore Burns pretty much.
That's killed off a lot of speed, and now the 2 Downforce Racing drivers are in a teammate fight for 7th place, but that's really eased up a lot of pressure on Oliver Kwaka. He doesn't have to worry about Jason Sieg right behind him.
Well, it's a good job we managed to catch that slide. It was close, but no cigar. Like what I did there. Anyway, clearly not. No, right. Rajol and Quokka. Well, this is saying Quokka far more easier for him right now. Now he's lost Sieg off the back of him. Just concentrate all his efforts onto the Frenchman ahead to line him up again. A lovely shot, as you mentioned, of the motor for his direct drive system that he's got on his livery there. With his Twitch channel being advertised there. Worth checking out. Same motor as for his direct drive system as what's used on. Oh no, he's in the wall! He's in the wall, he's gone!
Oh no, Quokka in the wall and out of this race competitively. He's definitely got damage to the front left right there. Coming out of turns 5 and 4, 6 and 7. And that is a lot of damage. It's a blind corner too, so we can't tell where everybody is. And everybody's really in there. Quokka, he's going to tow. Yeah, he's got a tow right there. Oh, that is so unfortunate. Oh, I just hate to see that. As I'm glad I sat right back down. And oh, the snap oversteer. That is the strangest thing. The car didn't look like it was oversteering, and it just snapped to the left.
It did. It just went in, didn't it? In the blink of an eye, and even the skill of a driver like him to catch that.
That makes you think hardware failure. That really makes you think hardware failure, because it doesn't look like it was oversteering at all to cause a thing to countersteer. So the sudden shot to the left just makes you think hardware failure. And there's a teammate pass. Theodore Burns gets past Jason C. And
that seems a little bit too easy there, Austin. Almost.
Yeah, he let it by. They worked that together. They worked that together, and probably to free up any horrible puns he made. Also, I had to leave my seats.
It was that bad. I am available for weddings, christenings, and, well, based on the poor quality of my jokes, worthy of a funeral, to be fair.
You know the entire thing of take a shot on a bad puns? Well, Sam has already just completely ruined that thing, so I had to get another one.
There you go. There you go. But I'll tell you what, interesting point here. These two have started closing up a bit over the course of the last few laps. We haven't seen the traditional Samborski display of get in front and disappear off into the distance.
Yes.
Joshua Stewart he's really, I mean, you can see the lap times up on your screen right now. I mean, literally within between 200ths and 600ths of a second.
Inseparable. These two are inseparable right now. And honestly, the two teammates, I shouldn't be surprised. They're on the same setup.
This does all pretty much come down to driver skill right now, and nerve as well, and concentration. Starting to get into the latter stages of the race, you know, mind starts to wander a little bit.
Remember, Samborski used DRS to get past Stewart.
He did.
So I don't think Josh has used one. We're already talking about DRS usage right here and strategies. But Samborski has one less DRS use than Josh Stewart. He's going to have to earn this, both these drivers.
Yes, this is going to be really interesting. And we're over the next few laps, we're now 7 laps from the end. And we'll get to find out as, what are we seeing here? So Visor Malski. And
he's attacking, looking down. Oh, that's a send down the inside.
Wow. Ooh.
And, well, he sent it down the inside. He saw the move, and unfortunately, he returned to center, and he didn't get anything out of that one. He did have a good run heading into there, but nothing happening as Stewart's actually being dropped slowly by Samborski. Samborski opening that gap to 8/10 between them. As this is back to that fight for 15th between Eric and Margaran. As Eric's dropped off the back of him as Luis. Ooh, that's a tight line at the entry for Eric. Just went a little bit deep, and that just makes that turn forward just a little bit too tight right there, but he gets right onto the gearbox of the braking point, and my friend had a interesting statement there. It's like, I expect everybody to be braking at the same point, but everybody's got these different setups, and sometimes different setups benefits different braking styles. Some people really slam on the brakes and trail off. Some of them just keep the same brake pressure throughout the entire braking zone. Some are faster, some are not. Some benefit one setup, some don't. And you really got to keep your eyes peeled when you're racing in these single seaters because no brake lights.
Yes, you have to have reactions like a cat, and also a lot of it, which does help. We see these guys week in, week out racing against one another. So you develop a trust and an understanding, and you get to you understand where the driver's likely to brake. You understand their patterns, their ability. Is this person very good on the brakes, or maybe they're not? Do they like to brake a bit earlier and be a bit smoother in? Are they good in high-speed corners, low-speed corners? You build an understanding and like a database in your mind. Right, okay, this driver I'm up against now, I know he's going to be weaker in medium speed corners or on the brakes. I can make a move here, and Wojciechowski definitely seems to be much stronger on the brakes than Murugan, the Iberian, who's he's had a cracking display so far, up 7 places, up into 15th.
Well, he tends to go a lot later on the brakes, but as we saw in the hairpin, he went very late, but he's got an opportunity. Are we going to be seeing the Eric Wojciechowski dive once again, or is he just going to set up for around the outside because he knows on how later he brakes? And just look how much he closes in. A lock up at the head by Freckleton, and Ponix around.
Well, he locks up the rears into the braking zone there, and
he's in the wall.
The car snapped left and straight into the wall. And that is a retirement for the Canadian at his home race.
That's unfortunate right there. That's not the way you want to end your home race in the pit lane. Here's the replay on board of Mark Ponix. We're riding behind Eric Wojciechowski heading into the hairpin and on the brakes, and you hate those moments so much. You get on the brakes and the car in front of you just keeps getting closer and closer. And then you're just like, stop. And then unfortunately the car bites and the rears go, and you're eating concrete out of your helmet.
It's like a little bit easier for Wojciechowski because he's now, not going to concentrate on Ponix behind him.
Hey, you want another factor into this lead fight? 5 laps to go. Lap traffic.
Yes, that is the number 6 of Anderson Sides. Oh, big incident here, Austin.
Eric, Dylan Freckleton and Wojciechowski. Giant incident.
Well, Freckleton was 2 cars ahead. Wojciechowski.
Oh. He's got pushed out wide, rejoined the track, and then back end goes around. Oh, Dylan. He had the move made around the outside too.
Well, he was defending, wasn't he, to the Iberian Lewis Murugan. He was just trying to get past Freckleton there, and
he's going to carry on. No faster pairs in this series, so yeah, it's gonna continue on right here as we go back to our fight for the lead. Eddie Samborski, Josh Stewart. Samborski, wide berth right there. And I think he's expecting Stewart to start using that DRS. And only Samborski's going to start using it when he needs to.
But you can't quite tell from this angles. Obviously, I imagine he would have had it wide open, Stuart, the DRS. Trying to cling on to the back of Samborski for dear life to mount the challenge. 3 laps left to go. Realistically, if you think about it, in terms of overtaking opportunities, 3 major opportunities left. All down into that final chicane, the Wall of Champions. And what has Stewart got up his sleeve? But can he make it past? I mean, he's a bit too far back right now. 3/4 of a second. The gap between our two drivers at the top of the timing sheets. By saying that, I tell you what, Stewart is definitely quicker through turns 6 and 7 and 8 and 9, Austin. Looking at it, this is definitely where he's a little bit stronger. You see, he's taken about another 10th out of Samborski through that. I think he's going to be a bit too far back, depending on what sort of escape they get out of the hairpin at turn 11. As I think is no, that's just my eyes deceiving me there. I thought change for third place, but oh, he's did you hear that, Austin?
The limiter.
Yeah, he was bouncing off the limiter way before the end of the straight.
Yeah, he's in the draft. He's got DRS open in the draft, and you know these cars have a max speed. It's really hard to do that. And I know these guys are running the same setup, and I feel like it just disadvantages the car right behind him because they can't really make that pass to set it up, and also these two are teammates, so they're going to definitely be running the same setup. And you think if you're running the same gearing, there wouldn't be that much of a problem. And Alucron has had an issue and in the pit lane. Marcos Alucron in the pits after this incident. The Wall of Champions gets right up to it, does not get collected by it. Goes down to the...
Oh. Well, I think heading into the final chicane, we expected the connection in the Wall of Champions.
Well, he was already damaged. He was already damaged heading into there. I'm guessing something happened. This is a real-life situation. And Josh Stewart is slow.
Yeah, Samborski's pulled out another 2 to 3 attempts on him, Austin.
And Samborski's doing Samborski.
Yeah, he's doing Samborski things, and as much as Stuart's got that DRS open, you get the feeling this is now, providing Samborski doesn't make a mistake, it's is to lose here, really.
It really is. Stewart, he's faster over one lap. He got pole on Samborski, but he couldn't keep the tires alive as Eddie. He's now putting the pedal to the metal and running away right here in a race very close to him. He's from New York, so it's just a hop over to Canada for Eddie Samborski to take the lead right here. And he's kind of regretting racing right here. I was talking to him after last week's race about this start, and he goes, I do not like racing here. I do not like the way we start around here. And, this track is on and off of the iRacing Formula 3.5 calendar because they do a kind of track system where they go to tracks that really benefit the iRacing Formula 3.5 car. Well, there is going to be another track in that rotation, I can guarantee it. Magny Core was announced to be coming to iRacing in a future build.
Yes, it's coming this year. I love that track, Austin. I can't wait for it. And it's going to be such a great track. It's going to be conducive for not just, lower powered cars such as white flags just flying their final lap to, lower powered cars like the Formula 4, for example. So, sorry, I correct myself, the IR04. We're not allowed to call it the Formula 4. But also, it's a great track that will also work well with multi-class racing, European Sprint Series, IMSA as well, Michelin Pilot. It's an absolutely excellent circuit. I haven't driven it in years, not since I fell in love with it, all the way back on Jeff Crammond's Grand Prix 2. It was.
That is a callback.
Well, yeah, I'm showing my age now a little bit, but yeah, it's where I just fell in love with it around there. An epic circuit, an epic game as well, to be fair, well ahead of its time. I'm going to shut up for the last lap because I could wax lyrical about Jeff Crammond's Grand Prix series.
Yeah, we're on iRacing. Remember which platform we're talking about right now. as we are on board in the fight for fourth. Theodore Burns trying to chase down Rancon. He's caught up with Rancon. Rancon, though, just has one straight between him and fourth place. Burns, though, he's closed right up on him. And, oh, this is going to be DRS open for both as Eddie Samborski is coming across the line and takes the victory here ahead of Josh Stewart. This will be Josh Stewart's first podium here on Apex Racing TV in the iRacing Formula 3.5 Championships. Fabio DeCarmo comes home in third as Burns right on the gearbox right now. It's just a drag race away. He's not going to be there. Radcon fourth, Burns fifth place. Jason C comes home in sixth after that incident and a horrible pun. John Owens in seventh place, followed by Dennis Cornu. But what a day it's been.
It has. It's thrown up a few interesting results here, and different situations that bits of drama as always. Great racing yet again from the Formula Renault 3.5 broadcast split. And just seeing Samborski on his victory lap before he brings it into the pits. I'm sure we'll be chatting to him very, very shortly. Let's just wait for the last few drivers to cross the line, I think.
Yeah. We're just waiting for a few drivers to come across the line. As everybody comes across the line right now, next week, to get y'all excited, we head to Spa. But here are our race results. Eddie Samborski takes the win ahead of his Downforce Racing teammate. Josh Stewart, Fabio DeCarmo jumps to third place. They're followed by Ludwig Radicon, Theodore Burns, Jason Sieg, John Owens, Dennis Cornu, Ben Holkill, James Byrne, Mehmet Tasky, Miguel Crespo, Luis Magaron, Gio Tanto, Eric Weissmeiski, Ilma Frugleton, Anton Titus, Marcos Alarcon, Jamie Byrne, Mark Ponick, Oliver Kwaka, Daniel Gallus, and Rob Bohr complete the grid. Next week is Spa. How are you feeling for that one?
Can't wait. I think it's going to be full of entertainment. It's all going to be about that exit. What exit you get out of La Source, turn one, and then the drag all the way up the hill through Eau Rouge, Radion, down the Kemmel Straight to Lacombe. Who's going to be the last of the late breakers? Who's going to time their run to perfection? And then, of course, we get to, mainly a relatively easy affair, and then through the Blanchimont, run down to the bus stop chicane, another big braking area to complete the lap, and I'm sure it's going to be an absolute festival of fun.
And speaking of fun, one driver had a lot of fun today. He's standing by with you, Fabio DeCarmo.
Hey Austin, hey guys, how's it going?
Good, Fabio. Congratulations on the podium. How does it feel?
Thanks, Sin. Yeah, it feels great. Really tough track. Not a very easy race. I had to fight at the beginning for position, but yeah, it was fun. It was. I love Montreal. It's such a nice and challenging track. The wall is so close to us every time and every lap. So yeah, it feels great.
And so, obviously, getting off the line, we were just watching a replay of it on the screen right now. Obviously, picked up a place early on. That was, so crucial. But for those first few opening laps, what was your strategy?
I was just trying to be on the toe on the cars in front because my car was not that fast on a straight line, so I was just trying to keep with them, and it worked. I was able to get a few positions in the beginning, and that was my strategy actually.
So no problem. And we had to, similar in some ways, style of track next time out, Spa. How are you feeling about your chances around there in Belgium?
I love that track. Spa-Francorchamps is so good, so fun to drive. But the race there is kind of messy because sometimes guys run high downforce setup and some other guys run the medium downforce. So it gets kind of messy sometimes. But let's see and wait. Hope for the best.
Definitely, it's going to be interesting to see. Before we let me go, Fabio, anyone you want to give a shout out to us all?
Sure, my wife, Fernanda, my kids, Julian, Sophia, my teammates, and everyone at Full Time Esports by TK, and you guys for the broadcast. Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much. That's Fabio Di Carmo, who finished third here today in Canada. Austin, I believe you're standing by with our second place finisher, Josh Stewart.
Hi guys, how you doing?
Doing great, Josh, and you're probably doing over the moon. Your best finish ever in the broadcast race, and also the first pole position here on broadcast. How are you feeling after that?
Pretty. I'd be honest, pretty relieved. I mean, I'm pretty relieved to finish the race. It's a tough track. I love it, but those walls are close, and yeah, I was very surprised for pole position there. Just pipped Eddie. We've been going at it the last few days. So yeah, I'm really stoked.
I would be over the moon if I out-qualified Eddie Samborski like you did. Now, it was a Downforce Racing 1-2. You didn't come home with the first win, but you came home with your second podium and highest position. First time in second place on a broadcast. And, well, hey, do you think you could keep this going forward into Spa?
Don't jinx me already,
I'm not
Austin.
jinxing you. I'm just saying you did good. Are you expecting a better result?
Yeah. Look, I've had a really great season. Yeah, in the first race at Suzuka, I podiumed against, finishing behind James and Eddie. So that's, that was awesome. Didn't quite bring it in Imola. I had an incident and ended up finishing fifth, I think. So the results are there. But yeah, a top five in Spa would be fantastic. I love that track, but I know both Eddie and James are guns there. So yeah, it's going to be a tough one.
Well, it's going to be a very entertaining one to see how you go and compare it to them. Congrats on the podium and the pole position. Josh, before we let you go, anybody you want to thank?
Yeah, of course. Thanks to Downforce Racing. We've been working really hard on the setup all week, and we found something really comfortable, and that's what you need to be at in Canada. Comfy in the setup. So yeah, thanks to all the guys there. Thanks to Eddie through the race; he was helping me stay calm. And thanks to you guys for the broadcast. Love watching it, and yeah, great work. I'll catch you guys next week.
And thank you for the great show out there on Four Wheels. So standing by with Tim, it is our race winner, Eddie Samborski.
Hello, Austin and company. How are we doing today?
Oh, good. Maybe not quite as good as yourself. Another victory to your name this season.
Yeah, that was tough. It looks, that's one of those races where I think you'd rather be watching than be the guy in the car. I feel like I just did a marathon.
Yeah, we were saying during the race that normally the Eddie Samborski way is, a few laps behind the car in front of you, you make the pass, and then from that point on, you just sail off into the distance. But you never seem to be able to quite shake Josh Stewart this week from, in second place. He always seems to remain, just on the cusp of the slipstream range.
Absolutely. With the 3.5 at Montreal, it does not pay to push the car at all. In fact, there's plenty of little wiggle moments that you guys probably don't even notice that when you're in the car, you're like, whew, got a good thing I didn't crash there. Twice this week I've spun. Once was in the Wall of Champion chicane. I hit the left curb too much, looped out, kept going. And then once in I call it the other Wall of Champion chicane. It's the one but reverse. Turn 6 or 7, I think it is. And I got really fortunate there that I locked the car and slid it in such a way that I stayed parallel with the wall. So the entire race, that was in the back of my mind because it's like, if you do something like that, you lose 4 or 5 seconds, and now I'm in 5th place. So I was just going as fast as I thought I needed to. And even doing that, I was still getting the tires a little hot. I mean, I missed turn one lap. I don't know if you caught that, but I was way out wide into no man's land after we went by a lapper, and I was like, oh no, keep it on the track,
Yeah, we did catch some of it. It was definitely an intriguing battle between yourself and Josh Stewart on the opening stages. Well, actually, pretty much the whole race. Obviously, Spa next week. We're heading, back to Europe. I mean, how do you fare at that track? It's we're saying it's all so crucial about getting that exit right out of La Source turn one, all the way up the hill and down to Lacombe.
Typically, I enjoy driving Spa, but I have awful luck there. So if I can, in the qualifying, I've never for the life of me figured out how to get around that place outside of medium downforce. So we'll see if I can at least start in the top 5 and have a chance to go forward and make it through lap 1 without incident. I think I'll be happy. I'm never usually overly quick there. If I can get a clear track and not have any pressure, I mean, obviously that'd be ideal. That's pretty much what everyone wants. But there's certain other competitors that I'm sure will be very strong there. So hopefully I can just latch onto them and steal a win away from them when they don't expect it. Maybe.
Definitely, it's good to hear that you're. There is a bogey track out there that catches Eddie Samborski out, and you're not all alien. You are a human in some
Oh no.
form.
Oh no.
Before we let you go, anyone you want to give a shout out to us all, Eddie?
Absolutely. Every single driver on lap 1 for not destroying the top however many cars in turn 1. I don't know if there was an incident. I didn't look, but I didn't hear any complaining, so it must have been okay.
Everyone got through.
It was
fine.
actually clean.
Yeah,
Lap 1 was whole clean. Lap
that
2,
is
though,
amazing. Oh, lap 2, huh? Up for review.
It was actually just one. No, honestly, I think we only had 2, 3, maybe 3.
Yeah, yeah, maybe four at absolute most. Certainly, you can count it on one hand.
It was very clean.
It was incredibly.
I think that's because you literally cannot push the car here at all. It's like you get to a lap time and you're just like, okay, that's good. You're not going any faster. And but back to thanking people. I'd like to thank everyone who's voted on the upcoming schedule. Please do so. I have to get going with that. We're down about 7 days-ish. Thank donators. Thank Apex for broadcasting. Thank the teammates for not running into me and doing anything stupid. So good day.
No problem at all. That's Eddie Samborski, your winner here at the Circuit de Gilles Villeneuve in Canada.
What a day it has been here at Canada. Next week, we head over to Belgium and Spa for another fantastic round of the Formula 3.5 Championship here on Apex Racing TV. And I've been joined by Tim Cox in the booth with John Robertson in the production booth. And I'm Austin Knight. And I hope y'all have a good night.
Are you struggling for consistency in your sim racing? Does your iRating look like a roller coaster? If so, we have good news for you. The way to get more consistent is to first understand what you're doing differently than the professionals. And VRS is the answer. With our competitive subscription, you will have the telemetry, setups, tutorials, and everything else you need to fully analyze your driving. Our data packs and the ability to compare your driving with the best in the world will show you exactly where to adjust your inputs, change your driving line, and shave seconds off of your lap times. And our powerful and precise Direct Force Pro wheelbase and precision pedals are being used by some of the world's best drivers. All these champions agree that VRS hardware is not just the best on the market, it's also priced well below the competition. So if you're looking to upgrade to direct drive and the best pedals in sim racing, VRS is your answer. If you want to get better, get faster, and make it happen sooner rather than later, you owe it to yourself to find out why so many people are switching to VRS. You'll be so glad that you did. Visit www.virtualracingschool.com and learn why the best use VRS.